877 Biker Law. Insurance companies don't like facing Jason. Call 877 Biker Law. When you call Jason, you're placing your trust in a rider like you. The motorcycle lawyer. Yeah, he wrote the book on what to do. Yeah. Been in a wreck, no need to fret. Call 877 Biker Law.
You're listening to CRBRadio.com. The words and opinions you are about to hear are of the hosts and do not reflect the management, sponsors, or affiliates of Cave Radio Broadcasting.
Sunday evening, my friends. We are back again, live from the CRB Cave Radio Penthouse Studios, high above O'Malley's Supper Spirit Song in lovely Livonia, Michigan. I am Skip Dietz, and for the next 2 hours, I am acoustically yours. Yes, my friends, we are back once again on the every other Sunday at 6 p.m., where you should be right here at Acoustically Yours, as we are coming to you live on www.crbradio.com, as well as on Facebook Live on the Cave Radio page. As always, the man with the mix and the mojo.
Oh, no. I got to bring mojo now, too.
Our captain steering our ship, Mr. Eric Pelto, is here with us tonight. Hi, Eric. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing all right. Skip, about yourself?
Not too bad. Let's see here. Have a good New Year?
I had a sleepy New Year. I just didn't leave the apartment. It was great.
Excellent, excellent.
I got lots of sleep.
I went to an ugly sweater party.
Nice.
So the whatchamacallit, the Malort
I was gonna just
sweater came out.
I was hoping that would make an appearance.
The Malort ugly sweater did make an appearance, because if you have ever tried Malort, you would know that it is not trying Malort. It's not tasting Malort. You're experiencing Malort, and it is not a pleasant experience.
Malort tries you.
That's right.
So if you've experienced Malort, you know if there's a Malort sweater, that is the ugliest sweater known to man. So also live in studio with us, we have our guests tonight. Very special guest, Travis James is with us today. Travis James Albright, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
So we have Travis in studio tonight. We're going to welcome him fondly to the cave. So we've got Cave Radiothon coming up. That is starting Thursday. That's right, this coming Friday. This coming Friday. I had that. We're kicking it off at 4 o'clock on Friday with the Irish Music Cafe, as they do every single year at 4 o'clock. There will be a special edition of Acoustically Yours, and it appears that will be playing on Monday, Martin Luther King Day, from 10 a.m. until noon. So it gives you a bonus chance to tune into Acoustically Yours. But hey, check out all the great shows on the Cave Radiothon, because we've got shows that are starting up. We've got shows that have been in the past that hopefully we'll get back.
I'll be here from 6 to 6 on Saturday, I think.
Woo!
pretty sure.
Pelto's moving in.
I'm pretty sure it's 12 hours straight for me on Saturday if I'm remembering the schedule right. I think there's a 1 hour remote in there where I can go like get something to eat, maybe.
Oh, you get a lunch break.
You know. So the union is very specific about these things.
Right. So yeah, we've got some great shows coming to you. The Irish Music Cafe, like I said, will be kicking it off on Friday from 4 to 6, followed by the Rock Room, Rants in Our Pants, and making a return, Berta and Nettie. We'll be back with you with the, they were spilling the tea, right?
Yes.
That was the name of their show. Berta has been active on Facebook with Berta's Birdhouse with our good friend Freedom Works Tony Schwartz,
who will also be making his return to the cave Saturday 6 a.m. He's kicking it.
He's kicking off our day on Saturday.
Opening up a live day on Saturday. Yeah, that'll be a hoot.
So yeah, all kinds of cool shows coming in, coming back. We've got Freedom Works coming in on Saturday. This thing isn't on. The Girls Show. The Grand Poobah will be playing the Owner's Box from 6 to 8 on Saturday. So good times to be had for sure. More stuff on Sunday. Detroit Irish Radio, the RIMS show, the Shark Bait Boogie show. And these are just a few of the shows that we're going to have playing. The Stiletto Effect will be in on our opposite time slot. So that would be the week that we don't do Acoustically Yours. The Stiletto Effect will be in at 6 o'clock doing their show. We also have Irish Music Cafe again on MLK Day in their regular time slot. So they'll be kicking off. Their regular time slot is 4 to 6 on Monday, along with Bite Babes and Booze and The Damn Show. Where is Saturday night? You can catch a special edition of Just Roll With It. I believe they're doing that at the Cave Radio North, right?
Yeah. Yep. I'll be at home in bed.
Nice.
Forget about me.
So
someone else can push the dang buttons.
So we've got the boys in on Saturday night from 8 to 11. So make sure you check that out. And speaking of the Cave Radiothon, we have our Cave raffle for the MetaQuest 3 512 gig all-in-one mixed reality headset. Get with Dan Mayer to get your tickets for those. They're $10 a ticket, and who doesn't need a little VR in their life?
I mean, Dan did load his entire gift collection into it as a starter pack. So,
oh dear,
get ready for that.
Buyer beware. So you can check out the Cave Radio page on Facebook to get more details on that. You can do Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, or Apple Pay to get those tickets from Dan. That drawing is going to be held on the 19th, so that's MLK Day, right?
I think so.
Probably during Bikes, Babes, and Booze, as usual.
I would imagine.
So stay tuned for that, the Cave Radiothon, Friday through Monday for the Martin Luther King weekend. And get your raffle tickets for the MetaQuest 3 512 gig all-in-one mixed reality headset. Coming up in February, we have the party of the year every year. It is the best time ever. I look so forward to this every year because it takes me back to my younger days. It is the 80s Throwback Hall Party for Autism, being held at the Harris Carer VFW post number 3323 in Westland. That's at the corner of Avondale and Wayne Road. So Wayne Road and Avondale. Tickets for that are pre-sale. for $20. Same deal. You can pay Facebook Messenger, Zelle, Venmo, Cash App, or you can go to the website www.80stbhp. So that's www.80stbhp.weebly.com and get those tickets for the 80s Throwback Hall Party. It is the best party of the year. Sweet Revenge once again will grace the stage. So the world's greatest garage 80s band will be coming in. So make sure you check that out. And also, one last announcement. We've got the Cave Radio Golf Outing being held on May 9th this year. So get those foursomes together. Get those sponsorships together. And the events like the Radiothon and the golf outing and all that good stuff are the kinds of things that help us keep Cave Radio going and coming through your airwaves. So without further ado, we will once again welcome Travis James Albright into studio. How you doing, buddy?
Hello. How's it going?
Good. So I met Travis several times, mostly at the New Hudson Inn. We've done singer-songwriter contests together, the open mic together. Travis is part of that great family at NHI. I know that was so welcoming to me when I started playing there. So there are two things that really caught my eye about Travis. First, when I first met Travis, he was playing a very tiny guitar.
It's true. I was. Yeah. I still have it.
So, but it was a little guitar with a big sound. And when I grew up listening less to, especially preteen, I grew up listening to less of the rock and roll 80s or 70s music. And, my dad was significantly older than me. My mom was older enough. So my formative years, I grew up with everything from big band to Motown to what I really love that you get into so much, and it's that 60s and 70s country that, I call it that deep country. And I'll tell you what, Travis plays the hell out of it. So, Travis, so what got you into music? Kind of tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am a Commerce, Michigan native out here in the suburbs of beautiful Metro Detroit. So I have our wonderful public school system to blame for my misplaced career. Of course, back then we couldn't know that, but back in the stand-up bass and orchestra playing Seven Nation Army, getting in trouble and being last chair chronically until jazz bands swooped me along and I got to get a little bit funky. And a lot of that country comes from being a bass player because you got that bottom line that you can always hammer on.
Right.
And so whatever I do, I try to be funky. And I think that's why the older stuff does it for me, because it just it keeps it has a danceable, kind of aggressive rhythm. I'm not very patient, so I have a hard time telling a whole story, especially when you only had about 3 verses. That makes life a little easier too. So I played guitar since I was about 10. My dad had acoustics sitting around, which I picked up and started plucking. But I wasn't really doing open mics until after college. That's probably when I said I'm going to get out there and try to sing. Before that, I was sort of a bass player. But I think it's important to start on another instrument first.
Before guitar or before bass? Or
I think you just bring it all in. Yeah,
Okay.
you bring whatever you got in. So that's your. We can progress from there, but that's the short story.
All right. So Travis started in high school in the band.
Yeah. So jazz band. I had a few teachers who rescued me from orchestra, and I won an award one year for jazz because they said I was really good at listening to the other musicians, which meant that I wasn't the best player, but I was the best listener there. So after college was a U of M basketball band. I was if I'm not doing music, I'm pretty lame and unpopular. So first 2 years of college were rough until I was in the basketball band, and there they let you play bass guitar. So you're doing Michael Jackson bass lines, you're doing all the stings to the game, and you got to learn how to play basketball, which is a very fast thing to watch. So I didn't know anything going in, but when you're sitting there in the stadium, well, it's inside. I don't know if they call that a stadium.
Arena.
Yeah, there you go. The Michigan basketball arena. Thank you, sports fans. You just got to be on the ball quick. You got to know exactly what's happening because they call that sting, and the hand goes up and you go down. So all that base training came in handy. So those were things that kept me busy until I started to do more with the guitar. Outside of college is when I started playing in Clawson. Was one of the first open mics I went to. A place called the Black Lotus.
Oh wow.
Which is not there no more. So my influences are indie. I was playing Elliott Smith and the Decemberists and Death Cab for Cutie and all this indie music that I love to death. But when you play an open mic, you might try a few different songs, try a few different genres. And when I played the country, that's when I had a moment that I'm very familiar with now, which is a dude comes up to you and goes, "Hey, bro, that song, dude, that was crazy, man. That was crazy." Now I'm very used to that moment, but whenever I do a country song, that's when somebody would feel it in their soul to tell me that I had rocked the mic. So that's who I am. That's what I moved on to, and the bass playing is a big part of it because you just, especially with old stuff, with outlaw country, 50s country, you're just rocking those boom chuck.
Yep.
It's all about that. So that let me keep being a bass player while being a guitar player, and you pick up the singing afterwards.
Well, you know what they say about country music is 3 chords and the truth.
That's right.
And that's what gets you to see 3 chords and the truth. Wait, there, get my shirt in there. There we go. I had to get my shirt in there for the 3 chords and the truth.
I was hoping to get the Bob's Country Bunker line. We play both kinds of music here.
Country and Western.
That's true.
So yeah, we've got Travis here in studio on www.crbradio.com on Acoustically Yours. And so you left college, hit the open mic circuit. I know you play New Hudson Inn, you play Wheelin'.
Yeah, I as a Commerce native, I am familiar with the local honky tonks, that being New Hudson Inn, which is the owner there and everybody involved has been amazing for live music, and they've watched me come in playing my little sad indie songs to now rocking my the country that I do now. So I've been around the area. I'm very familiar with the Ghostlight Midtown. They do Midtown Detroit. They do original music there. So it's been a slow, steady path of playing open mics here and there. I think I was in Detroit. I was working for the city, and one of the baristas was they had a funk band, So, I straight out of college, I had joined a Craigslist jazz band. We were the house band for the Stray Cat Lounge in Clinton Township, which is still an awesome place for music. They have music many, many different days of the week. And they still have a jazz night every week. And so every Wednesday we were doing our sort of lounge jazz. So you Fly Me to the Moons and all that. Saxophone player. So I was doing jazz bass, sort of using those skills that I had started on. And the barista said, I got a funk band. So we started a band. We were called the Windstar Soul. And we went to Saigon, Vietnam together.
Really?
Yeah, so this is still the bass saga. But so I had a Vietnamese funk band. We can circle back to that. And
You better.
came back, worked for the city again, moved to Pittsburgh. I was about 26 in Pittsburgh when I kind of had an epiphany where I said, I got to start doing this every day. I got to start singing every day. I got to start playing every single day and work just specifically singing. So that's a longer version of the story.
No, that's fine. So let's circle back right now.
Oh, good. We're
'Cause-
doing it. Okay.
Yeah, let's not hold off on
Somebody
Vietnamese,
buried the lead.
Vietnamese funk.
Yeah.
Well, if you play music to get girls, if you're just the bass player, it's a little tough. So you work out your skills from where you started. So I wasn't singing at the time, so I just played bass. So I was like, well, jazz bass is one thing, but funk bass is another. Long story short, the singer had studied abroad in Vietnam with the University of Michigan. So we were doing house shows. We used to rent a space in the Russell this was a different time in Detroit. Don't try this now. And we'd throw our own parties and sell
Merch.
grape juice, and make some money doing that. We did an album, which I think is still on Spotify, Windstar Soul.
Windstar Soul.
And we have a music video. Yeah, we toured in a Ford Windstar, so that's why
That
we were called that.
That's fantastic.
Great.
So we all made a deal to move to Saigon together, all of us except for one, because we thought we could make a living, play music over there.
Hey, you didn't have to spell it Seoul, did you?
No,
That's
that's
Carry
why
on.
you
I'm
guys are the professionals, all right? So I wasn't singing. I would sing a little bit when I do open mics, but this was my thinking that I could ever learn how to sing professionally. So
so you weren't singing in Vietnamese.
No, I was just playing funk bass. So we had a 5-track original album, and the band lasted about 2 weeks. I think we played about 3 beach bars and couple places in Saigon, and then the band broke up, and then I just lived in Vietnam. I lived in Saigon at that point by myself with I had a couple other expats I was living with. They were doing music, but that band we had no longer had contact with them.
They took the keys to the Windstar away.
They went surfing or something. We don't need to talk about that, but
That's not what we came here to talk about.
so that's when I first started doing my solo stuff. As I was in Saigon, and I was like, well, it's just me now. As a bass player, it's tough because you're tied to whatever your group you're in. So,
But as an American expat who can play American music anywhere in the world, you have that going for you.
I still have friends that are over there. I think about it all the time. But
My hotel band in Costa Rica is still like legit my last ditch retirement plan.
that's okay. That's a real story.
Yeah,
Oh, dang. All right. Well, what are we doing here?
right. Getting my passport back.
Right on.
Anyways,
So that was my first time doing like corporate gigs where I was the American, as you said, the American singer. So those were my first times doing anything solo. Did we circle back correctly?
I got to go back again. So it's kind of curiosity's kind of getting to me. How would you compare Vietnamese funk to, I don't know, funk?
We were playing American funk.
Okay.
We were very into Bootsy Collins for me as a bass player is top of the list. So
Right.
Funkadelic, that kind of stuff. But we wrote our own music, so we were playing our originals there. In Saigon, what was popular at the time, this is 2016, was they had ciphers. So I don't know if any of us are hip hop artists.
No.
I mean, not like now.
If that's it's never too late to start.
This is what I'm saying.
I'm more of a hips out artist.
Well, so you would have a DJ that would play a beat, and then these kids, they were probably early 20s, would sort of hop on the mic one by one. So when the band broke up, I followed around these other expats I was living with, and that was their whole gig, is they were DJs doing ciphers. And Vietnamese, so I don't know about Vietnamese funk. Vietnamese rap is very interesting because every word is one syllable. So I'm not going to try to imitate it because I'll get taken away. But it's a very interesting language to hear rap in. And so I was doing Jimmy Buffett songs at the beach bar, or just starting to do a little bit of jazz guitar with a loop pedal. So the Vietnamese funk, I don't know if it panned out the way that you thought it would.
Well, I was just kind of, in line with like K-pop and all that other stuff that's different from the eastern reaches of the world.
I still have friends that are doing music over there. You can it's your cost of living's a little cheaper. If you can, the food's amazing. If you can deal with all the rest of the things you got to deal with, you can. But I was there for about 8 months in
8 months
total.
in Vietnam, okay.
Yeah, I was teacher Travis.
Teacher Travis.
Yeah.
You have to explain that now.
I did English teaching. That's what
Okay.
a lot of people do over there. So I had my group of 22-year-olds that I'd walk in and with my little tie and do my little English lesson. You start your day at pretty late because they go after work. So you ride your little scooter through town, do your 2 lessons, hour and a half each. That's enough money to pay for your couple days.
Okay.
And get out at midnight, go get some noodles, and go home. And occasionally I go to an open mic and play some of my indie songs, not quite country at that time.
Right.
But there was a lot of there's a lot of corporate gigs. There's a lot of people looking for, they want to hear American music. They want to hear it in the accent that they're used to. So they seek out expats to play company parties, and I still have friends that do that kind of work over there, that are full-time musicians. Meanwhile, I have a day job, so what am I doing?
Right. So we taught English. I had a friend who did that. She was in Eastern Europe. She was in China. She was in China doing teaching English. She was in Russia. I forget the other countries, but the other countries there in Eastern Europe. And, she had always said that it was an experience that you'd never get to do otherwise. And it was so cool to be able to do that. Seeing things that you'd never see before. Now, that was packing up a U-Haul and moving to Las Vegas at 22.
Did that go? Did that go better or worse than you expected?
Well, I came back.
Okay.
No, I took a job transfer. I was doing SMATV back then. Anybody familiar with that? It stands for Satellite Master Antenna Television. What that is are those big, huge satellite dishes. Except that I did them for apartment complexes. So instead of just having the dish in your backyard and a cable going to a box in your house, it was a big dish, actually 3 dishes, most of them, to collect all the channels. We had a shack that was called a head end that had all your modulators, your descramblers, your scramblers, your receivers, and all that good stuff in there. That was a cool job. But I worked in I got the job here, and I was a technician, so install, repair, in what was referred to, maybe it still is, I don't know, is the Sin City portion of Taylor.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So it's a string of subsidized apartment housing along Eureka Road between Beach Daly and Inkster.
Okay.
So it's a group of about 5-6 apartment complexes. My current job takes me down in that area every once in a while. They look a lot nicer. They actually tore down some of them. But yeah, I mean, it was like the projects. But the Satellite Master Antenna was basically poor man's cable TV, and the people that own the company own the apartment complexes. But a cool thing about that is I always felt safe because nobody messed with the cable guy. They would, you get an eviction notice. Yeah, it's 6 months before you ever have to do anything. But man, when the cable guy comes by, if you don't have that money, you're done, and no more Jerry Springer. So actually, back then, I think Jerry Springer was a legitimate show and not the crazy show that it became. But this is like early 90s. And so I had that job, and I was joking around with the boss because they had 3 apartment complexes in Las Vegas that they owned and my company serviced. And there was this contractor that they had taken care of it that my boss complained about, and so on and so forth. Hey, I can go out there. So one day his boss called me into his office and said, "Hey, were you serious about wanting to go to Vegas?" Okay. So they set me up in an apartment. I remember they tried to tell me I could get the cable channels for $10 a month. I said, "Are you freaking kidding me? I'm not paying $10 a month because I'll have that stuff anyway."
Did you just try and charge the cable guy for cable?
Right. So the end of 1993, it was actually Thanksgiving weekend. I was off to Las Vegas, and I had one friend. I made one friend in Las Vegas. So I took a girl with me out there. Her name was Shelley. God rest her soul. Passed away far too young. Gosh, that was a few years ago. But anyway, I always said that taking her out to Vegas with me was the second biggest mistake I'd ever made in my life. The biggest mistake was bringing her back. But we met like 20 years later, became friends, and it was like anything. And it was so scary because like 20, 25 years later, she could still finish my sentences and all that good stuff. But anyway, I digress. So I spent 2 years in Las Vegas. I installing, quote, cable, end quote, TV, and disconnecting, quote, cable TV. I had a golf cart that I drove around my apartment complex. I had use of a company vehicle for a little while, but then they said, yeah, because they were going to get me a vehicle. They were going to get me a pickup truck. Well, that didn't happen. Apparently, price on used vehicles in Las Vegas was very high. So they said, well, we'll let you use the complex vehicle. Well, it was subsidized housing, so that didn't last very long because being tied in with government and Section 8 and all that stuff, I couldn't use it anymore. So he says, we're going to let you work out of your car. I just bought this car. It's an Oldsmobile. It was a 92. Had 60 miles on it. Nope, I'm using it for work now. Because, I was in my 20s. I spent money as soon as I had it. So even though my rent was covered, I thought, well, I had to pay a gigantic phone bill. Because that was back in the day where you had to pay extra to call long distance and extra to call intralata. So even if you're in the same metro area, if it was far enough away, for me growing up in Redford, Northville was a 20-minute drive. Well, it cost extra to call Northville than a quote-unquote local call. So those were odd days. Now it's like, call whoever you want, wherever you want. It don't matter. But you're going to pay X dollars more. Of course, back then we also leased our phones. You got your phone from the phone company. Yeah, and it wasn't one of those. I lived in the era of rotary dial.
Most people go to Vegas to meet girls.
So I did. I did meet a couple while I was there because we broke up shortly after we got out there. But she did introduce me to my friend John. He passed away, unfortunately. God rest his soul. But he was from. I loved hanging out with John because he was from Worcester, Massachusetts. And he had that thick Massachusetts accent. And he was very into karaoke. So I remember going out with him to a karaoke bar. I got to work the next morning. He worked nights. So he worked for a garbage removal company. But what he didn't drive the trucks or anything like that. He was like an inspector. He followed the trucks around and made notes on what they were doing and stuff, but it was midnights that he worked because Las Vegas, you don't want to be grabbing the garbage in the middle of the afternoon. It gets a little warm there in the summer.
Did you have fights where you Skip the satellite guy versus Larry the cable guy? Were you passing each other on the street and?
This was before Larry the cable guy.
Right.
This is pre-Larry. Larry was just a normal guy trying to make it in the stand-up business. So it was entirely before he took on the persona of the cable guy. So, but I did. So we're in this karaoke. We're in this bar doing karaoke, and they have this whole network. And these people go from place to place. I mean, they take their karaoke very, very seriously. I'm thinking with the shows and stuff in the resorts and casinos, I think they thought they were going to get discovered. But I will tell you now, having been a karaoke host for 25 years, no one's ever been discovered in a karaoke bar. So anyway, I'm doing the karaoke thing, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, well, okay, I got to work in the morning. I'll stay till last call. That's when I learned a very important lesson about Las Vegas. There is no last call. I looked and it was 6 a.m. So I had to go to take a shower and be at work at 8. So that was my last call in Vegas experience. But as a side thing, doing the karaoke, it did get me a gig.
I usually stay away from karaoke because I feel like it's got to be embarrassing for you to make it entertaining. So I thought maybe I go and I do only Kid Rock, and then that would be sufficiently debasing.
I think you have a unique opportunity though to take songs that do not like where twang does not belong, and just layer it on like Single Ladies.
Yeah, there's a genre for that. We could do like a 50 Cent.
Yeah,
What if,
like
yeah.
like that's you might have it you might have a niche, and again, not as any way to forward your career or anything. This is very bored on a Tuesday night, like let's go make a fool of ourselves.
Somebody did that with AC/DC. You Shook Me All Night Long. Made a country version of it. It was years ago. Oh my God, it was the worst thing I ever heard.
You can occasionally take a song like I do like a Genesis version, a country version. Why does it always seem to be? That's all. Yeah,
Okay.
Genesis. Yeah, and I made that a country version. Sometimes I see a lot of times as a millennial, you just see somebody do it online once, and then you start doing it, and nobody knows that you saw someone else do it first. So I steal a lot of covers that way of country songs. That I do the Billy Bass song, "Take Me to the River."
Really?
I do that as a country song. So every once in a while. But folks, do it in your house first.
One time.
Yeah,
Unless it's karaoke, in which case do whatever you want.
Right.
yeah, I've done some things with karaoke. I've done some things with my guitar where you just kind of take a song and make it your own.
Yep.
I have a long-standing dream from high school to take the lyrics from Pink Floyd's Mother and squeeze them into Danzig's Mother.
Okay.
I'm actually working on a rendition of Baby Got Back right now.
There you go.
Well, I could give you the good and the bad of Saigon. If you're going to visit, my recommendation is find a resort town, base yourself out of there, and interact with the traffic at your own leisure.
Okay.
The city is 22 million motorbikes, which is fun. It's really cute when you first show up, and then you're there for a little bit, and then it's a little less cute. So I left after 8 months, and then I worked for a public housing authority, so I get a little bit of that.
Okay.
I don't know if I commissioned any satellite dishes. I might have been a little late for that, but we probably did do a cable bill.
Yeah. The satellite dishes, they're just decorative now. But yeah, so while I was in Vegas, I doing the karaoke thing. I did get a gig as an Elvis impersonator.
Yes.
In senior living residences.
Were you good at it?
They would call this guy and book, and it's so funny because
He skipped right over that question, didn't he?
well, I got to explain it. The old people liked it, but I walk in with this boom box with a cassette playing, and on a lot of the cassettes, you could actually shift your balance to one side and take out most of the lead vocals, and that's how I did that.
Well, that's good business.
So I was doing Elvis. I had this will take you back in time, too. I had a Laserdisc karaoke player. Discs, like the size of 33 1/3 album records. That you put in, and they play a little video with your karaoke. So I would use that. And, I mean, it was such a cheap shot. I had this cheap, costume jumpsuit. So, and by the time I said, you know what? I could do more with this. It was time to move back home.
So you didn't do more with that.
So no,
okay.
I left things undone. And I don't know, I could have been on the senior living nationwide circuit. But it never happened.
Is there like a Andy Kaufman tape of you somewhere, like with your back to the audience, and then you do the hair and you turn around? And...
There is a VHS somewhere. I think I have a VHS somewhere. There is definitely there's definitely a cassette somewhere. No video there's a VHS tape somewhere.
Do we want that to see the light? Or
We
no?
don't want
Okay.
we don't want
All
to
right.
see that. There are pictures. There are photos. I may have a couple of those in my ugly, cheap ass excuse for a costume jumpsuit.
I'm sad that Elvis's last show was in '77, so I can't technically wrangle you into pulling it out for the '80s party.
No, we cannot do Elvis at the '80s party. It's unfortunate.
I really think you should consider it.
Can you like repurpose it in a Liberace or something?
Well, I mean, '80s would have been the height of Elvis sightings, I would think.
This could happen. But what I need to be doing is to be holding a to-go bag from Burger King. Because that was the big deal with Elvis, was there was an Elvis sighting at a Burger King in Kalamazoo in the 80s.
Well, I'm just putting it out there, Skip.
It could happen one of these years.
I'm just putting it out there.
I'm always looking for good costume ideas. I haven't talked, speaking of which, I haven't talked to Jeanette, who will be on the Radiothon on Friday night with Berta, doing the Nettie and Berta show, which used to be called Spilling the Tea. So, but we were supposed to do hey guys, look at that. Jason Longuski popped in for the show. Jason was actually our first guest in studio. Janet Albright saying hi, Travis. Andrew Rice is in here. Jim Topa's in here.
We're watching the chat. Apparently, Skip has a cape.
I do. I did. I had a cape.
That's funny.
I did have an Elvis cape. Went with the fake jumpsuit. But yeah, okay, so Elvis in a fake jumpsuit holding a Burger King bag. That could pass as 80s.
It's kind of like a Halloween costume where if you got to explain it, it's how good is your Halloween costume, but maybe your crowd is going to be really.
I've done some good ones. I'll show you during the break.
We already know your crowd's going to be really hip, so I think they're going to get it right away.
Oh yeah, I think they'll figure it out. But anyway, yes. So that 80s Throwback Hall Party is coming on February 28th. So make sure you get your tickets for them. Reach out to Dan Miller. God, I'm thinking football. Dan Mayer and our Grand Poobah, as well as Angie Mayer. Get those deets and get those tickets. Lisa, how you doing, my friend?
Let's talk about your underwear, Skip.
Oh yeah, the tighty whities. So that was the year I won Best Dressed 80s, which was actually also Least Dressed 80s, because I did the Risky Business Tom Cruise with the collar up, Oxford shirt, button down, tighty whities, and socks and sunglasses. And then a year after that, there was an actual Tom Cruise impersonator that came to the party. He won.
Shame.
It was a shame because there's always cool costumes there.
Was that the RoboCop year?
No. That might have been the Thomas Magnum year. But yeah, I didn't really want to vote for him because he was a professional. I mean, that was his gig. He was a professional Tom Cruise impersonator.
Hence my view on karaoke.
He got paid to impersonate Tom Cruise.
You don't want people to feel how Skip feels about Tom Cruise.
That's right. I get paid to sing. I don't want to steal the thunder of.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I just I know. Looking at the Cave Radio Awards this past year, they had was it the biggest CRB fan that Christine Spitz got?
I don't remember.
When they announced that category, I'm like, oh crap, I don't qualify anymore. I have a show.
Yeah, no, you can't give you that award.
So I can't be a CRB groupie anymore. I'm actually like a CRB person. But yeah, so anyway, we're here with Travis Albright. Fresh off of a protest.
That's true. Yeah.
So Travis is actually very involved politically for the Democratic Party.
Well, we'll find out. I don't want to dox myself here. I have two. I know two people running for Congress against my will. I mean, maybe they're running for my will, but I didn't. Me knowing them wasn't my choice. I had a buddy in college who's running for the 13th district.
Okay.
And one of my dad's friends is running for the 11th district. So they call me up and they go, hey, go get signatures for me. Which, how much fun does that sound?
Depends on what kind of signatures you get.
Yeah, so I got to knock on people's doors and talk to them about politics, which is, less relevant than it's ever been. So God bless them both. My friend Donovan McKinney, I'll say his name because I know him personally, in Detroit. And then the race for this seat, which is like Ferndale through West Bloomfield. So yesterday was my Detroit tour. I said I got in touch with my hippie Detroit buddies. I lived in Detroit for about 4 or 6 years on and off working for the city. So I have all my lovely Detroit nerds and Hamtramck who know more about this stuff than me.
I'm technically a constituent.
Oh, there you go. Well, maybe I have a petition for you to sign.
Right?
I don't know.
Let's meet up in the parking lot. Maybe.
So everyone's got their 2 cents on that kind of thing. So I went to go talk. These guys are they're volunteer organizers and all that. So I went and talked to them. Got their viewpoint on if I have which horse was the one they wanted to bet on in these races, and see if I had my my liberal bona fides the right way or not. And then they advertised a casual get together in downtown Detroit, Hart Plaza. So I got suited up with the lovely weather yesterday, which was like snow if it was cold and also got you wet at the same time. And we stood in a big circle and shouted for about an hour.
Okay.
So I don't know if this is helping my music career by taking sides, or I'm being not specific because I don't know if I want to be a political country
Well, so here's my thing.
singer. But maybe I do. But I had a lot of fun. It was good. And then I went to the Bruce Springsteen tribute at Corktown after that.
See, here's my thing with the celebrities and their political activism, we'll say. Okay. So I'm going to look at a musical artist, and I'm going to be like, I don't care what you think. Politically, I want your music. Stick. I'm kind of more stick to your things. If you're an actor, stick to acting. When you're, I mean, if you want to do stuff like on your own time, go ahead. But when you're gonna be in a situation where you're public and you're gonna force feed it down my throat, or if you're gonna threaten to move to another country, to which I'd say, goodbye. But yeah, I just to try and politicize their genre, whether it's music or theater or the movies or whatever. I mean, you know, it's cool. Believe what you believe, but
Well, I don't think it's fair to pigeonhole artists though. Like Rage Against the Machine was like you knew what you were getting into, right? As soon as you picked up the record, like there was no, you know, that there was no questions about whether or not they were going to plan to mix their politics with their art. They were, and it would almost be weird if they like stopped,
right.
Like if Rage Against the Machine like came out with a record of 12 songs about girls that they, you know, things didn't work out with, and like it would be weird, but I wouldn't. I don't know. I wouldn't. I don't get to tell any artist what lane they belong in, no matter what. So, like, if somebody comes out writing sad songs about girls and then, like, something happens and they decide, well, I'm going to use my art and my platform to be politically active, I don't know, man. If you feel like that's getting it crammed down your throat, I mean, I don't know, is that what's happening?
Well, it's not in the actual art. Okay. What I'm looking at is I don't need Rosie O'Donnell telling me she's moving to Canada. Because I don't care.
Luckily, I'm not a public figure yet, so I don't have to make these choices. But
Right.
you could see me at a door near you asking for a signature on my petition.
I have signed petitions walking through Eastern Market recently.
For now, my choices are if I'm doing Fight Inside of Me, Merle Haggard, am I doing it ironically or not? In which case, could any
Right.
maybe that could just be for me. So I my outlaw country shtick is very, very fun, but you find yourself in different places talking to a lot of different people, and so yeah, I was in Detroit. I did do a little a tour. Do I want to crash out in social media? Do I want to go to every bar I'm at and go fisticuffs? I haven't decided.
Okay.
I think it's the important part is no matter how hard it is to find a way to keep having a dialogue with people you don't agree with. Like again, there's not a lot of dialogue with Zach De La Rocca. Like when somebody has taken a stance like that, but like if you had a outlaw country-esque cover of Talking Heads' Life During Wartime, like people would have to ask themselves, like, is he being silly? Is he being serious? What's going on here? And now you got him. Like at that point, that's a hook, and I support that 100%.
Well, I've got my delightful hippies over at the Ghost Light in Midtown Detroit. That's like an open mic for originals. And God bless that group. And then I've got my honky tonk circuit out here at the New Hudson Inn and the Wheel. And for now, they let me in both places without putting me in handcuffs. So
That's what matters, I think.
So I will more later on my organizing career. But I should. But luckily, my music career is. I don't. It's just me and my little Instagram profile for now. So I don't. The big decisions are to come.
Oh, same for me. Mine is my Facebook profile, and that's it. I put my little songs on Facebook, and sometimes people like them, and Sometimes not so much.
Well, I write political songs, but I haven't been sharing them. So the ones I do today will not be that.
That's fair.
I try to, the Beatles write. They have really positive songs, and I'm like, that's probably a good way to go. Just whatever it is, just try to. If you can take your message and distill it into a generic positive message, and then take your ego and shove it down to like one of those little things that when you open it, they go pop and spring out.
Nice.
And then, try not to do that on social media. I think that's all that anyone's asking for anyone these days.
Yeah, I remember how I started. I was actually sharing. This was during COVID. So I think the last time I had played live was like in the very early, I like to say around the turn of the century. Because 2026, I think we can say that now about the turn to 2000. So now I was playing a duo act with a good friend of mine, Kelly Huff. Amazing high-end range. Oh, my God. This guy sings like an angel. So we did the gig with him. We went around Livingston County. But then I met my wife, got married, had kids, raised kids, split up, still raised kids, and I had gotten away from that. So Angie Mayer, I guess the queen of the cave, said, "Hey, you should do this." I'm like, no, not so much. I haven't played for anybody in 20 years. So just before all the retail shut down. So what was that, like St. Patrick's Day? So like a day before that. So figure March 16th, 2020. I'm on my lunch break. I stop in a Guitar Center, pick up a little 3/4 Washburn acoustic electric. So I go home and I work for like a week on a song. One song. And post that one song, and it got such a big response on social media, on the Facebook and the Instagram, that I kept doing it. And I haven't posted anything in quite a while. I think the last thing I posted was a song that I had written for the holiday Festivus. But I posted that on Festivus December 23rd, but I had recorded it like 4 years before. But so that's actually how I got started getting back into playing. And then, of course, Andrew posting on Facebook, and good friend of mine and one of the Cave Zone, Brad Nestor, tagged me in an event. It was one of the singer-songwriter contests. And that's where I even walked into the contest and said, dude, I haven't done this in like 20 years. And I got a little sympathy vote, but I did not advance. So yeah, that's kind of how I started playing again after so long. And that's where I started playing New Hudson Inn and meeting all of you. Many of you have actually come in on the show. So just so you know, once you're in the cave, you're welcome anytime.
Let's do it.
So we'll be getting some of those folks back in studio soon. But yeah, that's how kind of I started out again
You got to start again. I
at 50.
there's I people when they're, because I'm at the point now where I picked up a guitar when I was 10. I've had 10 years of formal school bass training. Some of that was me in this Craigslist band, but I taxpayer funded musician training. I pick up a guitar, and I've been playing for myself, writing a song here or there in that time as well. But about, like I said, about 20. I'm 30. I'm going to be 34 soon. But when I was about 26, I said I'm going to practice an hour every day for the rest of my life, and sing. I'm going to get really good at singing. And all that to say, I see people who see me now and see what I do now, and they go, "Oh man, I want to play music, and it's this big journey I got to start." You're going to be playing for yourself the majority of the time, regardless. Doesn't matter how big you are, you're going to be playing for yourself. So you got to start there and enjoy playing for yourself. And if 20 years later you picked it up and you enjoy keeping yourself company, then other people are going to enjoy you keeping yourself company,
Right.
Whenever somebody, like I encounter somebody who's on that journey, I always ask them, like, when you get frustrated with something, does it make you quit, or does it make you like do it more? And they think about it for a second, like, because I can tell you exactly how the story's going to end, depending on how that you answer that question. Because if when something frustrates you, you quit, this ain't for you. But if it makes you work harder, and you're going to keep going back to it, and you're going to keep, oh, it'll just work one day. It really will. It's wild.
All right. And with that, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to hear a little Travis James Albright here on Acoustically Yours. You are listening to www.crbradio.com, and we will be right back in a few minutes.
Your red hot chili done killed me, but your greens have raised me from the dead. The doctor called the time of death and pulled the sheet right over my head. And that's when I heard my mama say, those hot peppers finally got their way. But I was alive because deep inside were two big helpings of green. Yes, I was alive because deep inside were two big helpings of greens. They pumped my blood and gave me life again, and my heart was ready to sing. Your red hot chili done killed me, woman, but your greens brought me back to life again. And my heart was singing, hallelujah, I'm alive today. Hallelujah, I'm alive today. God gave us the moon and sun and His love and mercy. And I'm alive today because God gave us collard greens. You tried to get me with that chili, you did. But then again, you did make those greens. You tried to get me with that chili, you did. Then again, you made those greens. You love me, you hate me, you can't live without me, if you know what I mean. And I just thank my lucky charms, talking about that cereal that God gave us, collard greens. And my heart is singing, hallelujah, I'm alive today. Hallelujah, I'm alive today. God gave us the moon and sun and His love and mercy. And I'm alive today because God gave us collard greens. Yes, I'm alive today because God gave us collard greens. Yes, He did.
There's a darkness overtaken, and it's come to shut us down. We can either all pull together, or we might as well lay it down. I know you're lonely lately, and the economy is bottomed out. But don't be so selfish, 'cause it's lives we're talking about. Together we can rise above it all. We can decide to fight or fall. But let's not go back to the way we used to run. Oh, take a deep breath, we can still fix what we've done. Through the hardships that we're facing, there's always some good to be found. This bad weather can't last forever, and know the sun will soon come out. The world is slowly awaking, like an Indian burial ground. Lend a hand to the helpless, and we'll find another round. Together we can rise above it all. We can decide to fight or fall. But let's not go back to the way we used to run. Oh, take a deep breath, we can still fix what we've done. Oh, life will never be the same, baby. Oh, we must embrace this change. Yeah. Oh, we gotta have a little faith, and maybe, oh, I think we'll be okay. There's a darkness overtaken, it's come to shut us down. We can either all pull together, or we might as well lay down. I know you're lonely lately, and the economy is bottomed down. But don't be so selfish, 'cause it's lives we're talking about. Together we can rise above it all. We can decide to fight or fall. But let's not go back to the way we used to run. Oh, take a deep breath, we can still fix what we've done. What we've done. What we've with the ones who were there. College years broke the sense. You didn't go slow ahead, learning things no one needs to know. How things change, what they hit. I now understand the damage I did. It's been too long since too late. I know it's been too long since too late. I know it's been too long since too late. I know it's been too long since too late.
And we are back live on Cave Radio Broadcasting, www.crbradio.com, with another exciting episode of Acoustically Yours. My name is Skip Dietz. We have Eric Pelto manning the board, captaining the ship, and our special guest in tonight, Travis James Albright. So welcome back from the break. And so great story off break as we go back to the Vietnamese funk band.
I was cataloging the stories that I could and could not tell off air while we were sitting here, and one of them that I could tell is we took the Ford Windstar of the namesake van of Windstar Soul to Toronto. We did a gig, and we came back, and as we know, American Border Patrol is a different animal than Canadian. So as we were coming back, the American Border Patrol, they asked us a few questions. What were we doing in Canada? We said, oh, we played a gig. We're a funk band. And when you get searched, they give you a little paper, and the paper tells you why you're being searched. And the paper just said funk band. So we had a nervous 15 minutes outside of our van looking at each other and said, Did you?
So I told this story the first time you told this story. It was the Canadian police in my head that did this, and it was way more like fun. Like, wait, is this how we do this in Canada? We search the funk bands, okay? But that sounds now. This all makes more sense now. Like this is absolutely an American border.
Yeah. I was thinking,
that checks
is there
out.
some sort of ban on funk music?
They made a correlation that a funk band would have paraphernalia on them.
That's
And,
fair.
An absolutely reasonable assumption to
That-
make.
We found out in the moment that we didn't.
At the moment.
We forget. Oh man.
We didn't come prepared, fortunately.
Yeah, we had to ask God to help us with that one, but luckily
That's wild.
we didn't prepare that thoroughly.
So the Windstar wasn't rocking.
No, well, we sent the saxophone player on the bus, so he might have. That
Okay,
might have been a
fair
different
enough.
Story.
Thinking ahead with totally on accident.
So, yep. So, yeah, I actually looked them up on Spotify. It is, they've got a 5-song LP up on there, so check it out. Windstar Soul.
The band is no longer active, but the music, I like those songs. I think they got some soul to them.
Well, you know what? You had Kenny Rogers and the first edition, and now we've got Travis James Albright and Windstar Soul.
Well, if I'm bringing it in, that's me on the funk bass. That's a P bass. I played a fretless for a while because I was a masochist, and then I switched over to it was a G&L Tribute, which I sold in Saigon. It might still be there. So that was me. Bass is a really good foundation, and kind of the movement of music and how things groove. And
Yeah, I don't know how you guys do those fretless basses.
you guess.
I mean, I love watching Bo Bentley play his.
Yeah, well, you just there's comfort in knowing you can never be perfect and
Right.
just better. It's a joke, but yeah.
But yeah. But to do a fretless bass, I watched Bo play that, and he's got it.
Yeah, no. That especially the stand-up ones. I haven't played one in a long time, but it's I think he's got the electric stand-up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so cool looking.
People ask me to do that, and you can get gigs with those. But I've stuck with the bass guitar ever since school.
Well, speaking of guitar,
Oh, sure.
Travis sure brought a guitar with him, so I'm sure our audience would love to hear a song or two.
Let me get comfortable. Dial it in here. Let's do full volume test. All right. We'll dial it in as we go. I was kind of telling the story of my progression with music, so we'll start. This is one of the first songs that I had ever finished. It's called Favorite Girl. And I used to, when I started doing songs when I was maybe about a teenager, they'd had to come out in one thing. If they didn't come out in one go, then I would go, this sucks, and I'd give up. The new ones are a little different, but this is an old one, and it's one of the ones that have survived because everybody always wants me to play it. And you come up with one of those songs that just have a few chords, and you never seem to be able to make one that simple again. So here's Favorite Girl.
You could be my favorite girl. Walking down the street now, talking about nothing. You could be my favorite girl. Now I could be your right hand man. Walking down the street now, talking about nothing. I can be your right hand man when I come home. No one around. I need your loving to keep me off the ground when I come home. Hold me tightly, I need your love to help me feel alright tonight. Feel alright tonight. Feel alright tonight. Feel alright tonight. Now, if you wanna be my queen, tell me, love me, nothing ever be the same. 'Cause I wanna be your everything. Walking down the street, not talking about nothing. I wanna be your everything when I come home. No one around. I need your loving to keep me off the ground when I come home. Hold me tightly. I need your love to help me feel alright tonight. 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 Now, you could be my favorite girl. Walking down the street, not talking about nothing. You could be my favorite girl. When I come home, no one around. I need your loving to keep me off the ground. When I come home, hold me tightly. I need your love to help me feel alright tonight. Feel alright tonight. Feel alright tonight. Feel alright tonight.
All right. So where did that song come from?
Well, as a musician, you pick up a guitar for a principal reason, which is to get girls. So you write a little love song, which I have many. So there you go. That was a little love song.
So yeah, I was 18, just out of high school, and there was this guy. He was one of those flavor of the week kind of guys. Dude, fell in love, fell hard, weekly with a different girl. And he would come up to me and he'd be like, "Hey man, I met this girl. I need you to write me a song." So I'd whip out a song in about an hour, and we'd go out that night, and I'd play the damn song. He'd sing the damn song. So I was like a musical Cyrano de Bergerac.
Okay.
And yeah, Dan Welcher. Yes, I was playing in a band. Actually, I had met Dan in 1989 in State Honor Choir.
Where's that?
So there was the Michigan High School Choral Association.
Okay.
Did an honors choir every year. I actually have an album that I'm on.
The lore increases.
So we had so they do auditions for all the schools in the state. And I made the TTBB, which is the tenor, bass, basically the male quartet. So I made the men's honors choir. And that's how I met Dan. And he connected me with, after our honors choir experience, he had a cool story. So this whole honors choir, 100 guys, one girl, the accompanist. Oh, yeah, she wound up with me. But anyway, I digress. So Dan calls me one day and he says, "Hey, I got a band looking for a singer. Are you interested?" So this is a band made up the drummer, Mark. He went to Catholic Central. The guitar players went to Stevenson. The bass player went to Stevenson. And Dan, the guy that got me in touch with them and connected me to them, he went to Franklin. So we did Stevenson's Battle of the Bands. We did Churchill's Franklin Battle of the Bands. We did Catholic Central's Battle of the Bands. And then we did Franklin's Battle of the Bands, even though none of us went to Franklin. So we had to have Dan come out for just a little cameo thing so that there would be somebody, quote unquote, in the band. But yeah, he was and later after that, he would literally have me write songs for his flavor of the week.
Did it work?
Sometimes. Backfired on him once because the girl looked at me and said, "Yeah, you wrote that, didn't you?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy. She's hot. You weren't getting anywhere anyway. But, so I wound up dating a girl through that. But, he did all right with that because he would sing.
Is that you're a ghostwriter then? Of that?
I was. It was like Cyrano de Bergerac hiding in the bushes.
Okay, there you go.
But, so, I played the guitar and he sang and that's kind of how I started. Well, I wrote my first song when I was 13. It is one of those deep country songs that I was subjected to as a youth. I wrote that one. I wrote another deep country song about my grandfather called Grandpa's Harmonica because he had a harmonica, and when he could play the harmonica, and when he got drunk, he really wanted to play the harmonica. And then there was this guy named Claire Maitland, buddy of my grandfather's, and he looked like an older version of Radar O'Reilly from MASH. Yeah, you're missing these references, aren't you?
There is a gigantic whooshing sound of things. There's like an airplane passing over my head, but I know of MASH.
Yes. So everybody called him Radar. Well, Radar would wander around, and he would tell everybody. Well, as soon as my grandpa started playing the harmonica, he told everybody one day he was going to put peanut butter on it so he couldn't play it. And that song turned into Who Put Peanut Butter in Grandpa's Harmonica.
Did that one get anyone laid?
No. Family loved it.
That's good. All right.
Except for my grandmother.
Okay.
Grandmother wasn't a fan.
Okay.
Because at the end, a song that my grandfather always sang was, this outdates me, so don't feel bad if it outdates you, is a song called the Whiff and Poof song.
Okay.
And I sang in that song, I mixed the end of the chorus of that song in there, so Grandma hated it. Yeah. Lord have mercy on such as we. Ba, ba, ba. We're poor little lamb who have lost our way. Ba, ba, ba. Anyway, that's the Whiff and Poof song.
I've never written a family-centric. Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe I should do that. They're all about me.
No, I did. Let's see. I've written songs about my parents. I've written songs about me. I've written songs about, actually the last singer-songwriter contest I did. My youngest daughter and a friend of hers came to watch, and I did a song that I had written for my two daughters. And, oh, God, they were both bawling. By the end of that, even my friend Julie, who always comes up and supports me in open mic and contests or whatever, who never cries, she was in tears. And I made everybody cry.
That's normally not something you'd brag about unless you're a musician.
Well, it's funny because during the first contest that I did at New Hudson Inn, well, that's when I first met Andrew. Andrew came back to me and says, "Man, you really know how to reach people. There's a woman back in the corner, and she's crying." And I said, "Yeah, well, bleeding eardrums hurt."
Oh.
But he's like, no, man, you reach people. So, and to me, that's what the music's about. I also had, growing up, I had a theater background. And, and that's what I think even in my day-to-day life, I try to just reach people. Make them, forget about their worries for a little while, or make them feel. Make them laugh, make them cry, make them, just make them feel. And so that's where a lot of my music generates from, is from, my experiences and making them relatable to the audience.
It's fun to make something for somebody. A lot of mine just come from, I have a particular feeling that I'm trying to translate onto a page. So I don't know if I ever did one for somebody, except for, to get laid.
And, and there's a lot of, but there's a lot of what I feel that's in those songs,
Right.
Most of them are from my perspective. But yeah, that's, and doing the karaoke thing, I had kind of reached a point, okay, now what do I do to separate myself from the other KJs out there? So I started writing, Larry the parody guy. Well, I started writing parodies.
Oh, that's good.
And that was kind of my little niche that was different than other people's karaoke experience that I was able to use to make myself a draw. So,
Yeah, yeah, over time you sort of develop a character for what hits and what doesn't. So I have many songs that are honestly what I was feeling in the moment, but then I finish them and I go, this is depressing, and I never play them again. So I'm leaving those ones out. But they are what I was feeling, but, if I'm trying to reach somebody, not just myself.
yeah, I kind of hit a phase there where if you were looking for somebody to play your funeral, I'm your guy. So I do definitely have quite a few of those.
I'm not planning on bringing any of those today, but I used to. I have maybe 4 songs that I finished between the age of like 14 and 23, because if it didn't come out in one go,
Right, you were saying that.
I wouldn't. You'd start and you'd go. You do a few things, and you'd usually I'm just sort of feeling something. I'm getting words and music down, and you go, "This stinks," and you throw the chalkboard away. So what helped me was Wilco is the name of a band.
Mhm.
It's also the name of the singer, but I don't know his first name. His last name is Wilco. Talks about mumble songwriting, where when you pick up a guitar, when you say, I have an idea, I have a feeling I want to capture, you just, like a baby, you're just saying babble.
Yep, you're babbling it, whatever it is. Yep.
And it's not real English that's coming out. So so these songs are still from a feeling that I was having, but you got to have something on the page, unless you or you have nothing. So I started this kind of iterative process where it's just babble it out, listen to it, play it again, and over time the babble might sound more like English.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I have actually, God, I've got so many partial songs, a verse, a chorus, a line that I have scribbled down somewhere. And I've actually run into situations where I've actually taken part of one song, part of another song, part of this song, part of that song, and making it one song. So it's, my recommendation is when you got to get them down. Get them down on paper, record. If you got a voice recorder on your phone.
Yeah, I think that's right. And then the reaching of the people, you got to finish it first in order to reach people, and then for everybody it's different. But for me, it's you finish enough songs, and eventually you you see what people resonate with. That you do. You seem like Skip. You seem like you found a talent for sort of writing about other people, or at least finding out what would something that would sort of maybe capture your family member, or some part of them. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So mine, if they're about me, that's fine. So I more and more I've adopted this sort of silly country character, or a sailor or something, where if I write a sad song, I at least say we're going to make it at the end, which helps us from feeling like we're being doomed. But you got to finish it first. Finish your songs.
Finish your songs. But definitely don't lose your thought. You are listening to Acoustically Yours here on Cave Radio Broadcasting, www.crbradio.com, and live on the Facebook pages of Acoustically Yours and Cave Radio. Finally did that during the break. I got to get quicker with that. Just a couple of quick reminders to get your tickets for that VR headset. That is groovy cool. Those tickets are $10 each, and you can get those through Dan Mayer. So check out the Cave Radio page. That'll have all the information and all the app information on where you can pay for those tickets. And who doesn't want VR preloaded with Dan Mayer stuff? Also, don't forget about the 80s Hall Party on February 28th. So, again, it is the party of the year every year. And get those foursomes together for the Cave Radio Golf Outing on May 9th. Travis, would you like to play us another number?
Yeah, I mentioned being a sailor. So here's a this is more recent, so we're skipping many years here. So keep in mind that if you like this one, there's going to be about 30 you wouldn't like as much. It's called A Sailor's Home. This one's originally about a cowboy, and then I had a girl I was seeing for a short while who said I look more like a sailor, so I changed the whole metaphor.
James Albright on Cave Radio, www.crbradio.com.
The lamps and stars both shake and shine like that warm look you get in your eyes. Been such a long road, the water's been wild. Think I'll sing for a while. Far away I see the moon start to sing. 1,000 shorebirds chirping happily. And underneath you know it's always been you and me. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? I've been gone far too long. I'll see you when I get home. When I sleep, I can't know. I'll have to count each lighthouse on the shore. And as the sun begins to glow, I see the miles left to go. Far away the clouds are turning bright pink. A fiery sunrise drifting over me. The price a sailor pays to be free. Wondering if you are missing me. Sailors, you know, they grow up slow, but we all need a place to call home. And I've been missing you so darn bad. I say I love you, see you when I'm back.
All right. That is Travis James Albright here live in studio on Acoustically Yours on www.crbradio.com. That's right, the home of Cave Radio Broadcasting. Travis, thank you so much for coming in, buddy.
This is fun.
That's right, Travis Albright. Eric, thank you as always for doing all the magical things that you do.
Aw, thanks, Skip.
And joining in our participation. Just a reminder, hey, VR headset, get those tickets. The drawing is going to be on MLK Day. Let's see, we'll also have the Cave Radiothon. Make sure you start listening to that starting Friday the 16th with Irish Music Cafe kicking it off. and special edition of Acoustically Yours on Martin Luther King Day from 10 a.m. to noon. So make sure you check that out. Also, our regularly scheduled show will be back on the 25th of January, and that show will be live on Facebook as well as on www.crbradio.com. Thank you all so much for listening. Great to see some folks chiming up on the Facebook Live feed. Jim, Andrew, Lisa, thank you very much. And until next time, my friends, my name is Skip Dietz, and I am Acoustically Yours.